One. Hey, welcome back to the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage, presented by the Great Southern Bank, Doak Propane, Shelter Insurance, Missouri State Highway Patrol, Bank of Billings, and Central Bank of the Ozarks. Certainly glad you tuned in. And as always, the Missouri State Highway Patrol reminds us to take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life. Going about 260 miles to our northeast right now, we bring in the head football coach of the Hannibal Pirates, Coach Jeff Gschwender. And Coach, thanks so much for your time today.
Hey, no problem. It's my pleasure.
You bet. 8-0 on this season. You're state ranked. Tell us a little bit about the season from your point of view. What are some things you guys are doing really well right now outside of winning football games?
Well, the kids just came in right off the bat, first day of weight training with a goal in mind. We had 70 kids first day of weights, and that's how many we have on the team right now. So, we had they came in with a mind to work and a mind to just make themselves better in every aspect of the game. We were pretty successful last year, but that wasn't good enough for them, and that's a good way to start. They came in chomping at the bit, ready to play ball. And I know last year we lost to MICDS in the quarterfinals, and it was a heartbreaker. And a lot of those kids, we've had a lot of our kids that have been playing Friday night football since their sophomore year. So they've got a lot of Friday night experience. And they were ready to get back on the field the day after that game last year. So they've been itching at it all year, and they did a great job through the off season of really putting the work in. And, throughout the year, it's just really been, one day, one game at a time, just coming in and really focusing on the technique and a lot of the little things, that we lacked the past few years. And, I think our kids have done an outstanding job of really focusing on those little things. They came in knowing that we all knew that we had, a little bit of talent, but obviously it takes a lot more than just having talent to get the goals that we really have in mind. So, they really bought into what we were wanting to do. Our coaching staff, our assistant coaches have done an outstanding job of really making sure our kids are working every single day on the little things, the technique stuff, the fundamental stuff, that stuff that a lot of coaches call day one work. We work at stuff every single day of practice, even, tonight and this week going into week 9, we're still doing what you might say day one stuff, so our kids have really bought into that. And I think that's really been a big part of our success, is just really cleaning up our game and letting our athletes do what they do best, what they've been playing together since second grade. So, they have a good feel for each other. They have a good feel for their personalities, and, they bought into the aspect of really enjoying the process of a full season of football and really taking that into account. And I think that's been the biggest part of our success this year, is just the work ethic of our kids and our assistant coaches.
Hey, 5 district titles, since 2015. That success kind of breeds success. The numbers are good, and I'm looking at your roster, and still a lot of underclassmen on your roster. Kind of break that down, your roster, because you mentioned you've got sophomores that started, now they're seniors. You've got a lot of freshmen, sophomores on in your program right now.
Yeah, we really do. Our junior high level has done a great job of keeping kids out and having fun and making sure that they come out and teaching them fundamentals into coming into high school. So I think that's a big part of it. But, it just goes to show that, we're going to play the kids that come out, and it does not matter how old you are or what grade you're in. If you come out and do the work that, and the level of work that we're looking for, the expectations we're looking for, you're going to be on the field and you're going to play. And, obviously, like you said, we got a lot of seniors that have been playing, that have been starting since their sophomore year. And those seniors have really taken that leadership role and know exactly what to expect each and every Friday. And when you have those seniors that can do that, those younger guys just buy right in with that, and I think we have a very talented sophomore class and even junior class, sophomore class a little bit bigger. And you see that with, we got a good handful of starters on both sides of the ball that are sophomores, and I mean, they go out and they play like upperclassmen. You'd never know they were sophomores by looking at them on the field. So they've done an outstanding job of really taking a hold of the leadership that our seniors have put down there and just coming in, working every day and having fun playing football to get better.
You look, you're 8-0 right now, but a tough matchup to open up the season. You draw Helias Catholic at Helias Catholic, and Helias is 7-1 right now. You get a big win there. You get a shutout win over Marshall here last week. What are some things that you feel like as a program, as a team, you're really doing well right now? And what are some things you feel like, if you're going to make that run and get beyond where you were last year, what are some things you maybe need to work on here in these last couple of weeks here going into districts?
I think some of the things that we're doing really well, our kids understand that we have a lot of team speed on both sides of the ball. Our coaches understand that we have a lot of team speed, and we've really used that as far as a lot of the philosophy that we're putting into the game, not only on really all three aspects of the ball, offense, defense, and special teams. We've really focused on knowing who the kids are and what they do best, and really finding ways to let them shine on the field and let them do what they do. Hannibal's been known to have an above average running game, for a really, really long time, and above average option game for a really long time. With Coach St. Clair, we ran split back veer for, 30 years, 25, 30 years. And the kids understand that that's hard-nosed football, and that's going to keep you in games, and it's going to keep you in long, hard-fought games. And, kids understand that. They understand what a run game and what field position and what good defense does for those long games and for those long seasons. And, I think that's something that we're doing really well is, understanding the full capacity of the game and the process that it takes to make those runs in week 13, 14, 15. So, again, kids and coaches are doing an outstanding job of really figuring out what our kids do best and finding ways to allow them to show what they can do on the field. Some things that we can work on, obviously technique is a day-to-day thing. You can never have better technique, so that's something, like I said before, that we continuously harp on. The urgency in practice, especially when you're preparing for a team and going against scout team and stuff, we're really pushing our scout team players. Hey, you're lining up against our starters to win. Don't go in there with the mindset of, oh, well, we're just the scout team, so we're expected to lose. Go out there in practice expecting to win and playing hard to win, and that's just going to make everyone better all the way around. Not only just our depth better, and it makes us more comfortable of getting more kids on the field, but it really helps out in the aspect of just making us tougher and keeping our urgency up in some of those long, hard games. Another thing is just not only defensively, but offensively and special teams, just, are making sure that we're head disciplined and eye disciplined, making sure we're seeing the right things, making sure we're doing our homework as far as watching film and really taking tendencies into account to slow the game down for all of us, not just the players, but the coaches also. So, those are some things that we can continuously work on and continue to get better with.
Once again, visiting with Hannibal Pirates head football coach Jeff Gschwender. And coach, as you look at your district right now, you're sitting atop, in the number one spot, probably irregardless of what happens with battle, you're still going to be in that number one spot. Kind of handicap that district. And do you ever imagine you'd be in a district with Jeff City?
I tell you, that was probably the biggest surprise, the fact that Jeff City goes from Class 6 to Class 4 and they pop right into our district. That's something that you don't really think too much of. But, we've preached this to our kids all year long. It makes no difference, who we're playing, who we're lined up against. We're going to prepare for every game the same, It doesn't matter if we're playing the top state-ranked team in the state or the worst team in the state. We're going to prepare for them. It's another game, and it's another opportunity for us to get better, and it's another opportunity to show what we can do and go out there and have fun, because that's what it's all about. It's going out and learning and really having fun. A game of football is fun just for players and coaches and media and everybody. I mean, this is a fun time of year, so we really try to buy in on that. And but as far as district comes along, so a lot of the teams in our district we've seen once already. And, it's tough beating a team twice, and there's a lot of good coaches out there that can really figure out a lot of the holes and a lot of the weaknesses that other teams have. And regardless what happened the first time around, you got to prepare for it like it's a whole new team, especially a team like Jeff City that we saw week 2 and then turn around. We may end up seeing them, week 12, so they're in Jeff City. They're a whole new ball club than they were week 2. That coach they have right now is doing an outstanding job. Just from watching film on them last week against Battle, and breaking Battle down, you can just tell that Jeff City's made huge steps on the progress they're doing as far as the way their line's playing, the way that they're running that new style of offense. And that coach is sharp. He knows exactly what he's doing as far as manipulating formations and finding weaknesses in defense. So, and, like I said, the rest of our district, our teams that are in our conference that we've played already, besides Warrenton. So, it's a case of, hey, you throw someone in front of us and we're going to prepare for it just like anybody else. We're going to go out and give it our best shot, and we're going to go out and play and work hard and have fun doing it.
And again, we're visiting with Jeff Gschwender, the head football coach for the Hannibal Pirates. And coach, just for the viewers and the listeners, a little bit about your background. How long have you been at Hannibal? Where did you, kind of cut your teeth at, so to speak, at high school, college, and how'd you end up at Hannibal, and how long have you been there?
Well, I first started coaching at Bowling Green High School. I got on as an assistant coach, and that was in 2007. So I coached there. Coach JV was defense coordinator there for a little bit. We made a state run in 2009 and lost to Cassville during their big heyday during those times when Coach Large was down there, and and then I ended up becoming the head coach at Bowling Green 2012 through 2014. So 3 seasons there where, we lost Pellmeyer in the district championship. My last 2 years there in some hard fought games where, Pellmeyer ended up going to the semifinals and losing to Blair Oaks on those years. But, that's where I got my first head coaching experience. And then, after that, I wanted something a little bit different. And, wanted to go a little bit somewhere a little bit bigger, you know what I mean? And Hannibal is a team that was a place that I respected my entire life. I'm from Louisiana, Missouri, a much smaller town, south of Hannibal. And Hannibal is always the bigger team in our area. There's not a lot of big teams around up here. So, and Coach St. Clair was a head coach there, and he was someone that I talked with quite a bit when I was at Bowling Green. And it was a case that I really wanted to go up there and coach under him and coach under his staff and really learn Class 4 football. And he's been an outstanding mentor to me as far as the coaching aspect, so I came to Hannibal in 2015. So I've been there since, and I was, Coach St. Clair, I called plays with him pretty much the last, 3 years of his tenure up here. So he really showed me and taught me quite a bit. And the thing that I really respected about him was, he ran a program very similar to the way my dad did. My dad was a head football coach in Louisiana for 30-something years. So I saw a lot of the background stuff that goes along with being a head coach, not just on the field stuff. And that was something I really liked about Coach St. Clair, was that he had really the same mentality as far as football as my dad did. And when I came up here, it was like I'd been coaching up here forever. I jumped right in with their staff, and they're all great guys. And a handful of them we still have around coaching with me right now. So, it's just been, it's been fun. It seems like it's been the right fit for me coming up here. And, I just took over this year, and so far it's been a great time.
You bet. And Coach, we appreciate so much you being generous with your time. I know it's, going into week 9 and preparing for playoffs. We always appreciate those coaches that can give us a few minutes, and thank you so much for being part of the Missouri Sports Network.
Oh yeah, no problem. This is what it's all about. Like I said, this is the fun time of the year, especially for all of us, not just coaches and players, but for you guys too. So you guys do an outstanding job of really covering high school sports. It really gets the kids excited about what they're doing. Families and communities really love hearing and seeing stuff like this. So we appreciate you guys as well.
Hey, you bet. Couldn't do without you. And Coach, I appreciate it. You're listening to the Missouri Sports Network at MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. Keep it right here.